Hey kids, welcome back to this channel called Guitar Quackery Live, the one and only live streaming guitar repair channel. We have an interesting guitar here. I'll show you the headstock. Well, I guess you saw the thumbnail. So this is a name that should be recognized by people who know anything about guitars. Here's the headstock. Where? Oh, over here. Okay. D'Aquisto. Okay, but yeah, there's D'Aquisto guitars and then there's D'Aquisto guitars. So D'Aquisto was the name of Jimmy D'Aquisto, who lived in, well, on Long Island, I believe. He worked for John D'Angelico, sometimes pronounced D'Angelico. Yeah, so the two of them worked together when John D'Angelico was alive, and Jimmy was his apprentice, his #1 apprentice. Then, unfortunately, John D'Angelico passed away. Jimmy finished the work by himself on 10, I believe it was 10 guitars with the D'Angelico name on the headstock. And then somehow he was not allowed to continue using the D'Angelico or D'Angelico name, but he wanted to continue building guitars. So he just started his own brand name, D'Aquisto. Yeah, which was his name. And here we are. So now he built guitars to order, I believe, only to order. Yeah, I'm not sure. But at some point he hold on a second. Yeah, so he started working with Fender, and Fender ventured into archtop guitar building. So Fender made a few guitars with D'Aquisto, with Jimmy D'Aquisto on board, believe it or not. So some of those Fender archtop guitars were actually made by Jimmy himself. And then some guitars were made in Japan. Now, I'm not 100% sure on the history. So was that Fender in Japan, or I don't know. I'm going to have to look it up. But so we believe that this guitar, which now you can't really see because I'm protecting the guitar, right? But here it is, right? This is a chambered solid body guitar. So it's not an arch top, right? And yeah, and you know, not much going on with this guitar, but I am doing a setup, and all of my setups get premium fret polish. So this is what I'm doing now. And I'm still trying to determine which one of the polishing calls I should use, so that I get the best results on the frets. I use the number 4. I have the 4+ here now. I think that might be a better one. So I worked on these frets already, and I'm gonna just continue. And you can watch me. So like I said, this is the one and only live streaming guitar repair channel. So sometimes I live stream, usually when I charge by the hour, which I'm not doing on this one. There's no real need to charge by the hour because we're just basically doing a setup with a, fret polish. But it's an interesting guitar, so why not include it in the live stream, on the live channel, right? So usually I send a link to the customer and the customer can watch. I'm not sure if, well, I do have 2 people watching and 1 like already. Okay, that's good. So let me just continue here. And let me try this number 5 call. So the frets are kind of like jumbos almost, or maybe they are jumbos. Now, I just want to make sure that I hit the crowns properly to get the best results. Yeah, I think the number 5 call on this one. Yeah, and I think I want to go back and redo a couple of those frets here because they do have small dimples, but we're not doing a level crown and polish on this one. The fret wear is minimal, especially because it is, the person's main guitar. Now, it belongs to the guitar player from a jazz band, the Jazz Bastards. Okay. I'm not calling them names, that's the name of the band. And because this is a working guitar, and working musicians need their guitars to earn a living, I decided to bump it up a little bit. Because technically speaking, I should be working on some other guitars. But, I tell customers I don't always work in order exactly, 100%. I need to be flexible. So here and there, I might just touch it up with a crowning file a little bit. If I see it's a little flat on the sides of the crown, what I just did now. And then I am individually polishing these, right? That's it. Okay. And then we'll buff them. So the tape I'm using is the Delicate Surface Pink, or is it purple? 3M painter's tape. So I never use the blue one. The blue one is just too sticky. I did notice a few fractures on the ebony fingerboard. So I already texted the customer that we'll need to talk about humidification. All right, cool. So this is my first pass that I'm doing. I believe that he said that did he say that the guitar never had a proper setup, or it's been a while? Sorry, I can't remember. This is why, because I get things mixed up. When I communicate with customers, I prefer to communicate via text message. Because if we just talk on the phone, I will never remember what we talked about. But when there's a, written text message, archived text message, then, I can always read it at any time in the future. Look at this. Dr. Jeffrey Boyle is in the house. So, yeah. So, humidification is important. I can see now that I'm polishing using this method that there's a little flatness on many of the frets on the treble side. So I can see little dimples here and there, and then dimples become more like flat areas, So I can see this now. This was not really visible when I first saw the guitar, but now that I am polishing, it becomes visible, which is why I'm going to hit this one only here with a crowning file a little bit. So flat frets affect the intonation. This one. I was kind of counting on doing a little bit of this, so, which is the reason why I build it as my premium plus setup. So the plus means that I know I'm going to have to do a little extra work. So all right. So here I'm only hitting the treble part of the frets here with a crowning file. And this is obviously a very fine diamond file. And this one is the old one, which is actually technically it's the same grit, but it's a finer grit because it's been used so much. All right. Looks good. It's easier to crown radius fretboards, radius frets, than flat. Like on a classical guitar, it's really difficult to crown them. So when I use this method, so I don't always use the same fret polishing procedure, but when I do this one, a tip I want to share is that you start by not pushing hard so that you get this dimple on the sandpaper. And this is, by the way, really, really fine sandpaper, right? And then you start pushing harder as the sandpaper is getting pushed into that channel, this channel, right? Do I need to even crown this one? Maybe just a little bit. So this is my fourth guitar today. And I also did a 3D scan today of a 5-string bass. What was it in Ibanez? It's still here somewhere. Oh no, I put it back. Sorry about. No, it's here. What's the bass? Oh, Schecter. Sorry. That's right, Schecter. Yeah, because it's got some fingerboard topography issues. So the bass will require a level crown polish, but it's got some fingerboard topography issues, and I just want to make sure that the level crown polish is the best procedure to, to get the results we want. Because sometimes when you have an uneven fingerboard, obviously the frets are seated on the fingerboard, you might get a so you resurface the tops of the frets, but because the fingerboard itself is uneven, some of the frets turn out to be lower in height than others. So I see a few people here are commenting. Dr. Sean Barnes says hello, so I say hello. And Dr. Mark Kinney is here. And like I said, Dr. Jeffrey Boyle is also here. D'Aquisto guitar. So for those of you who just joined, this is a Japan-made D'Aquisto guitar. So it is a solid body, but chambered. So it's not an arch top, technically, right? Because it isn't an acoustic guitar. It does have a pickup. And we'll look at all that when I remove the cover. See, I'm no longer recrowning. Yeah. So I always feel that less is more. So on this one, I did not insist to do a level crown polish because I could kind of feel that a setup with, my setups always get the premium fret dress. So a setup with a premium fret dress would be good. Now level crown polish would probably give you somewhat better results. Would you really notice? I don't know. I'm not trying to sell services that guitars don't absolutely need. No need to do that. Actually, there's more reasons why not. Because if you do too much work, yeah, I don't think it serves, it's in the best interest of the customer or even of the business. Somehow this one was flat and here as well, again on this side. So I don't know if it's from playware or from the initial level Chrono Polish, which I believe they did. This is a, you know, a really well-made guitar. So maybe they just didn't recrown in this area. I mean, fully recrown. I didn't cut a new one for this guitar because obviously I don't know if I'll ever have this guitar model on the bench. So this is cut out for what guitar? Oh, I can't even read the back now, but yeah, it does need a little recrowning. Where's this thing? Here. So there's a serial number here stamped on the fingerboard. And there's a, I think there's another serial number on the back of the headstock. I'm not sure now anymore. I just gave away a guitar. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? I can't even remember now. Someone called me about so-called emergency guitar service. And, you know, my answer is always the same. But then in our text message exchange, he said that he was visiting from Australia. And he's playing a gig tonight. And the string is getting stuck on the side of the fretboard. So I thought, well, you know, we need to treat visitors kindly. So I started asking questions about his band or just him as a musician. And I already was entertaining the idea of just giving a guitar to him instead of fixing the one that he needs fixed. So he, I guess because I didn't want to tell him what I was up to, he kind of thought that I was weird. So he said, whatever, you know, I'll figure it out. And then I texted back and I said, okay, listen, I was just trying to figure out who you are, if you're a legitimate musician, if you are who you say you are, etc. Because I thought I would just give you a guitar. And then he texted back, surprised, obviously. And then he told me more. And he said, well, he's actually playing with this singer who's also from Australia, Amalia. So then I quickly texted back and I said, okay, don't tell her anything. Just, can the two of you come together? And I will give the guitar to her because I want to have a genuine reaction. Oh yeah, and by the way, I said you need to agree to be on video, right? I'll make a video for my YouTube channel. So So he said, oh, no problem. So they came over, and I also told them, and bring your guitar, because we'll do something. So normally I wouldn't do like a partial service and just fix a couple of fret ends, and not do a setup on the guitar. I would normally not do that. But, you know, I'm allowed to break my own rules. So this time, I did it, kind of. I trained Amalia, so his singer, how to do this. So she did it on his guitar. And right here on the workbench. And I was right with her, okay? It was not an expensive guitar. It was a Strat without a name on the headstock. So she did it. She did a good job. I guess she had a good teacher. And then when she was finished, it only took a few minutes. I said, okay, stand over here, face the camera, and close your eyes. And then I said, reach in front of you. So basically, I took a guitar from here, I put it in front of her, and she reached out, and oh, it's a guitar. And then I said, no, it's your guitar. It's a gift. Welcome to New York City. So they were very happy. And the guitar was a Brownsville guitar, which is now kind of like a collector's item. So it's the old Sam Ash brand, which is obviously no longer made. And on the headstock it says Brownsville, and then under Brownsville it says New York. So they noticed that it said New York, and you know, and that was the idea, right? Because they were visiting New York City, and they got a guitar. Some repair tech in New York just gave them a guitar, and it says New York on the headstock. And they can take it to Australia. So I will post the video on the main channel soon. Okay, so I'm done with this, and now let's switch grids. They were very happy. They said that was the highlight of their, you know, musical journey in New York City. So I was happy to hear that. I was happy they were nice people, well-behaved Australians. All right, we continue. We start here again. This is now a P800 grid. The previous one was 600. These frets are going to be shiny. So no more crowning. I don't need to do to use the crowning files anymore. Now we just continue with the polishing and buffing. I already did some adjustments on the truss rod. Yes, sir. So hold on. Gotta say goodbye to. So everybody left? I guess. Everybody left. I'm by myself. That was really cool of you. Yeah, I give away guitars sometimes, so. Oh. So, like I said, I was going to give away the guitar to the guy, but hold on a second. Then, in our text message exchange, he sent me her picture. So, that was her. And, so I said, well, all right, guitar this, guitar that. I wouldn't mind meeting her. So, yeah. It's coming up on the main channel. I already did some editing today, this morning. Some color correcting. I might record the narration tonight. So if you watch the main channel, the narration is the part where I have a black background with, Guitar Quackery logo. So I record that part always when as I'm editing. Usually. I'm going to give away another guitar very soon. So I bought all these guitars for, guitar giveaway videos. And it turns out to be just too much work. Yeah, so I thought that, it would just be the cost of the guitar. But it turns out that it's costing me a lot more because of all the time that it takes to make all the arrangements with the people and then all the editing and the giveaway videos, I think I posted 2 of them, but I recorded more. They're not even getting any views. So, obviously I did that to kind of promote the main channel a little bit, make it more exciting. And the reason why I'm doing in-person giveaways is I just can't deal with shipping. So I don't see myself putting a guitar in a box and then having to deal with the shipping and what if it breaks or it gets lost, and so I decided, okay, let's just do some giveaways locally. But then you see, when someone's from out of town and they're going to take the guitar all the way to Australia, it's kind of like doing a global giveaway, right? So, except, again, I don't need to deal with shipping. Now, they're going to have to deal with transport. So that's no longer an easy thing. It's a guitar with a bolt-on neck. It's kind of like a Strat, so you could take it apart and put the body in one suitcase and bring the neck on the plane, I guess, if they let you. That's kind of what I would do. I wouldn't want to check it in. So she's playing on Tuesday. Today is Saturday. So they already played that gig, right? And they played a gig before that. And on Tuesday, they will play another gig somewhere in the city. And she, I think she only sings. And I think he only plays. And they have a band, so it is my understanding they both play together in that band. And now he's here with her. I'm not sure if they're a couple also or not. I don't know. I didn't ask. But he's also kind of like a manager right now, but they do have a manager in Australia who's, the proper manager. So but yeah, so if it's a band from out of town, from another country, another continent, and if the music is decent, at least, I'll consider doing a giveaway if they're good people, and if I have a guitar to give away. Right now I have a few, but I'm not gonna continue with giveaways. Once I give away all the guitars that I have, I don't think I'll do any more giveaways in the future. Too much work. There's got to be a logical work to reward ratio, and I'm not seeing that from the giveaways so far. I did do one giveaway on the main channel, so when the channel was still very small, I announced that I'm going to do a giveaway as soon as I have 335 subscribers. So then I hit that number, and then I posted a video saying, okay, now I have 335 subscribers. I'm going to give away a Gibson ES 335. And here's the guitar. And I showed the guitar. And here's the thing. There's something about that video that if I tell you now, I kind of spoil the surprise. So if you want to see the video, just go to the main channel, Guitar Quackery, and just do a quick search for 335 giveaway. I'm not sure what the title of the video was anymore. But yeah. So the way I did it was I said, so if you want to win the guitar, just post a comment and I will use the YouTube random comment picker to pick the winner. And you need to be subscribed to the channel. And then I just got that feeling that some people were like subscribing twice with, you know, different names. I don't know, there was something weird about some of the comments and the way they were posted. So I just thought, well, do I really want to deal with that? And the answer was no. So I decided not to do any more giveaways on the channel. I mean, any more giveaways on the channel by picking a winner from the channel. So I did pick a winner using the random picker. And I made another video. I actually recorded the picking, because there was a time announced. So there was a deadline, and I announced when I would do the selection picking. So I recorded that. I wasn't live streaming because at that time I didn't know how to do live streams. So I just recorded it and then quickly put it together and posted it. Posted a recorded video. I think I posted it that same night. So here's the thing with giveaways, especially online giveaways. If you don't think it through, so it feels like, okay, easy enough, right? I'll just pick a winner, I'll give away the guitar. Well, there's more to it. And right now, I don't really want to be reminded of all the issues. But all right, so one issue is who's going to pay for shipping? So you can't collect money for shipping because then it becomes like a money collection thing. And I really don't want to get into that. Might even be illegal, I don't know. So shipping rates are really high. And especially if you need to send the guitar, you know, to a destination that's, you know, very far away. Or where shipping rates are even higher because they don't have frequent service or whatever. So fortunately, the winner that I randomly picked was in the United States. But if you give away a cheap guitar, the shipping rates might be more than what you paid for the guitar. Then the other issue is, you know, people try to cheat. So now you're policing this, and sometimes I guess you need to make a call. Okay, so I picked a random winner, but was this a legitimate winner or not? So I thought about all that, and I just decided that that's really not for me. But then when I revisited the idea of doing giveaways, I just thought of, you know, how about I do just in-person giveaways right here? And I just kind of pick my own winners, or they're not even winners, right? They're just people. So I'm about to give away this guitar here to one of my students. They're actually twins, and I already gave them a guitar, and because they wanted to buy a guitar with the Floyd Rose system. And I said, well, you don't really know what you're getting yourself into, right? And I spoke with the parents, and then I told the parents, listen, if you agree to have me, for me, you know, if I can record your kids for my channel, I'll give them a guitar with a Floyd Rose system, right? It was an LTD. And that was the only one of the giveaway guitars that I did not buy. A customer gave it to me. And he kind of said, just give it to someone who will enjoy it. Okay. So I just thought, okay, these guys, they want a Floyd Rose guitar, and they're, you know, nice kids, good students. So here it is. But then just a couple of weeks ago, and I recorded the video, I haven't posted it yet. So just a couple of weeks ago, one of the brothers asks me about, you know, setting up the Floyd Rose and changing strings. I said, well, you know, I'm not doing it for you, so you got to look it up on YouTube. And because I want to get rid of this guitar that I just showed you, I said, you know what, let me just give you another guitar with the Floyd Rose, and then you can kind of use this other one for practice. And, you know, and then you can work on your guitar. I just noticed something. That's no big deal. But here it is. So this is the pick guard. And these are the two screws. They're not the same type of screw. So this one is bigger than this one. So the different material as well. That's brass. This one is black. This one is pointy and this one is not. All right. Not a big deal. Okay, one more pass. Oh. Now we'll use the 1000 grit. I made these. See, there's a channel. This is sandpaper, so that so this is already used, and I can continue like this. So now it doesn't slip. So this is really fine grit sandpaper. Really fine grit. So some people might not even realize it's sandpaper. But it is. We're going to use the fret shield for this one. So this is a 24.75 inch scale length, same as an Epiphone, not the same as a Gibson. So by the way, Gibson and Epiphone guitars don't have the same scale length. They're not, an Epiphone isn't a clone of a Gibson with a different name on the headstock. It's a different guitar. There are differences. And as I just mentioned, the scaling is one of them. So an Epiphone Les Paul, Epiphone Les Paul has a slightly longer neck and a slightly smaller body than a Gibson Les Paul. It has larger pickup rings than a Gibson Les Paul. It has a beefier nut than a Gibson Les Paul. It has metric measurements. So the what do you call it? The spacing of the posts is a metric measurement on an Epiphone Les Paul. On a Gibson Les Paul, it isn't, right? Because it's an American guitar. So that measurement is expressed in inches on a Gibson, and it's expressed in millimeters on an Epiphone, and it isn't the same spacing. And it isn't the same spacing on all Gibson guitars either. And the scaling on all Gibson guitars isn't the same. But Epiphone, I believe all of them are, I mean, and when I say Epiphone, I'm talking about not the historic Epiphone, which was its own company and then bought by Gibson and then made in USA Epiphone from back in the day. I'm talking about the Epiphone guitars made today in China. So that's what I mean by Epiphone. Speaking of Epiphone, the other day I just played an Epiphone inspired by Gibson acoustic, not a J50, J100 or something. Man, I can't remember. A black guitar, and I was really surprised at how good that guitar was. So that won, right? So I'm not sure if that's how most of them are, but that was an awesome guitar. So it was Epiphone inspired by Gibson, black, little jumbo, mini jumbo, with stars on the fingerboard, star inlays. I don't know what that's a J100 maybe, I don't know. I didn't even look at the label inside of the sound hall. But I did look at the back of the headstock. It did have the Made in China sticker. So that was a good guitar. Yeah, so it's inspired by Gibson. It has the Gibson headstock with the Epiphone logo, and on that one, it had a star here on the headstock, and then stars on the fingerboard. I'm not sure, it's like a Johnny Cash model or something, I'm not sure. Could be. My point is, it was a great guitar, an awesome guitar. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's what people will do, unfortunately. So, Huckleberry Magic Hound, I think you are new to this channel. So, welcome. I picked this welcome thing from Dr. Steve Cassidy. I watch his live streams sometimes. Or his videos, or his videos. I've been standing most of the day. So, sorry, I need to check something because the guy left quickly. He left all the lights on, all the monitors on. I think he left. All right. So, he doesn't work for me because I just rent a space here. And by the way, this is a Guitar Quackery, but it's just a little rental space that I rent. But this space is Bob Elliott's Music Makers, NY. That's the full name. Also goes by Music Makers. Bob Elliott is the owner of the music studio. It's a rehearsal space, not a recording studio, but they also do events like they call them workshops. So it's good for people who have jobs but don't really have time to find bandmates and, organize everything. So they just pay, I'm not sure how much now, $850 or something like that, for 8 weeks of rehearsals with a musical director. And then after 8 weeks of rehearsals, they go out to one of the established New York City clubs, and they get to play on stage. It's a great concept. So a lot of busy, professionals join those workshops. And they've been doing this for like over 20 years. So I think it's a great thing. Because, what can people do, once they're busy professionals, adults, right? They don't have time to mess around. But if everything is organized for them, and then they also get to play on stage in New York City, I think that's a great thing. So this is going to be my last pass with the sandpaper. Yeah. And then we'll buff the frets. Sometimes interesting people come to the studio here. I haven't seen like anyone like really famous, but people who play, who are established musicians. I mean, famous. I don't know. I know that Ace Frehley was here with some kind of other kind of workshop that someone else brought in. What was that called? Rock something, Rock Camp or something. So some other organizer brought some groups here. They have a slightly different concept from the music makers' workshops, and it's a lot more expensive. But you get to play with either rock stars or musicians who regularly tour with rock stars. So, like I said, Ace Frehley was here. So he's a rock star from Kiss. But then they also had, how do you pronounce his name? Chuck Leavell. So he plays keyboard for the Stones. He's been with the Stones forever. Who else they had here? I can't remember. So Steve Jordan, also from now, the drummer from the Stones, was here in Studio One. But they were just rehearsing. He was here with a bunch of other very known musicians, rehearsing for, what was it for again? They told me. I don't know, some event, some local event. So that sounded awesome, right? Because they were all like great musicians. And what happened on that day, someone put, so I usually have a mat here. I have the mat, the red mat there. It's like it's a red mat that says Guitar Quackery. And this is pulled up like this when I'm not here. So someone left his jacket and backpack right on my mat. Like, damn, you know, it's like, can't they see? This is like private. But I didn't say anything, obviously. And then a few minutes later, Marcus Miller comes and picks up his jacket, and he was with that band that I just said. Sorry, I'm just pulling out another piece of paper. Oh yeah, Jimmy Vivino was also here. I think a couple of times. And I need to give him a picture. So a friend of mine who's a kind of like retired rock and roll photographer, he used to tour a lot with Bo Diddley and Johnny Winter and some other really known musicians. But he said, "Oh, what? Jimmy Vivino was here." Da, da, da. So next time you see him, give him this. I'll show you the picture. Well, I'll show you very quickly. Oh man, it's right here, behind. So that's Jimmy Vivino and two other known musicians. Oh, my battery is running low. So I need to give this to Jimmy Vivino when I see him, I guess. I don't know him, but, you know. Oh, yeah, a band, I don't know the band, but they're called Michelle. They rehearse here often. And they're very professional. Very well behaved. Okay. So that's that. Now, since this is a 24.75 inch scale length, which I measured, I can use the Epiphone fresh shield like this. Okay, it fits perfectly. Look at that. And I can buff the frets So I am about to do that. I have my buffing compound right here. And I have the little buffing wheel thingy right here. Okay. I almost ran out of juice here. I ran out of juice. Battery. Let me see. Okay. So I use a laptop computer here and I run it on battery. Like I said, this isn't the first guitar on the bench today. So it's a work mess right here. It's off camera, you can't see it. All right. Let's do this. What else do I need? My fret polishing cloth. Where I put it? I used it before, earlier. Okay, well, I'll use this one. I was looking for a different one, but okay. So the reason why I like to use a fret shield is because I can just go from one fret to another. So this fret polish isn't an optional service. So this is a mandatory service here. So it's about the results, not about the method. It's not the only method that I use, which I get the same results. So if you watch some other live streams or videos that I posted, you might see me use different methods. So some people say, I don't need that. Well, then I need to have a diplomatic way of explaining to them that then don't bring your guitar here, because this is what you're going to get here. And I believe that every guitar needs this, because it's part of a guitar maintenance. And when you maintain your guitar properly, it lasts longer. So it shouldn't be an optional service. And like I said, I make it a mandatory service. I just make it part of my service. It's not an optional thing. So if I wasn't using a fret shield right now, I would need to stop this rotary tool between frets, and then I would need to move my little fret guard or two of the tapes or whatever from fret to fret. Now, I didn't want to use the fret shield for the first polishing because you see it flexes a little bit, and I really wanted to get all the way down to the board with that tool, with this tool that I made. I do put links to all of the tools and materials that I use, or at least most of them, in the description. So for those of you who do not know, I tend to do that because I know that sometimes people will ask, so then it's already there. And I'm required to disclose the fact that those are Amazon affiliate links, which pay me a small commission at no extra cost to you. The emphasis is on the word small. So, yeah. So if you feel bad about that, you can actually click also a link that says, buy me a coffee if you want. You don't have to. Just checking something. Yeah. So this channel isn't monetized yet, so there's no super thanks button. But I did put a link to buy me a coffee for those of you who really feel the urge to do that. So someone contacted me the other day, I think yesterday or 2 days ago now. No, what's today? What day is today? Oh, Saturday. So I think it was on Thursday. About, not about working here, but let me see if he texted back. Because I don't remember. I don't recall. Okay, one text message came in without me realizing. What's his name again? Oh, here he is. Yeah, no, he never wrote back. He wanted to come and learn. And he said something about, I have an unusual question, you know. Uh, I said, well, that's not unusual, you know. So I sent him my PDF with, you know, like the courses and fees, obviously. So for training, people can work on those guitars that you see behind my back. Those are rental guitars. They belong to the studio. They're not my guitars. So, but they do look good in the background, right? So, you know, you use the rental guitars always need work. Some of them need refrets. Um, so I would never let a person that I'm teaching work on a customer's guitar. But yeah, it doesn't make sense to work on brand new guitars. I mean, to some extent it does, but you learn from working on used guitars, old guitars, if you want to repair stuff. Um, so, so those are used guitars. They get used a lot. I mean, you know, to learn the trade, you need access to tools. Uh, you don't necessarily need anyone to help you, but somehow you need access to tools. So either you buy tools, you borrow, or if you pay for a training course, well, they should give you tools. Three more. I don't like to keep my face too close to this. I don't like inhaling all these particles. And that's it. was just talking to my friend the other day about people who buy guitars and then they put them in glass cabinets, and he really hates that. But I guess some guitars should end up in glass cabinets because some guitars are historic. So at one point, you got to keep it in a safe place, I guess. Or should you keep using it? In the violin world, when orchestral string instruments become too valuable, sometimes some of them just get handed down and passed on from one musician to another, and they keep playing them, they keep using them for, to make music. But then they got to deal with the devil that we call the TSA, because musicians obviously travel. So you can buy a seat on the plane for your $1 million cello or violin or whatever. But if it's a cello or a bass, there's no guarantee that even if you buy a seat for it, that they will actually let you bring it on once you are at the airport. They can just say no. And then they expect you to just let them handle it. So with really valuable guitars, I guess we could do the same, right? Established musicians could just keep using them. All right, so now there's still some buffing to be done, but I am going to, let me recharge this battery. It's warm. I already cleaned the fingerboard once, just removed the biofilm. Okay. What time is it? 9:20. All right. Should I change this head? Yeah, maybe it's time. Okay. Looks like I'm gonna have to buy some more soon. Okay. So this is a new head, which means maybe I need a little more buffing compound here and there. Definitely on the first few frets. That's a piece of Teflon, if you're wondering. Should be quick. It keeps stalling on me. Huh. Now they're really shiny. Why it keeps stalling on me? So yeah, so this isn't an optional service because I want every guitar to look and feel like this when it leaves the shop. Ah, come on. This didn't used to do this. Look at that. Did something happen? Two more. All right, so now I can no longer see those dimples. Come on. Okay. So I don't know what's going on with this, but it keeps stalling on me. Just gonna recharge the battery before I forget. Oh, Huckleberry Magic Hound says I've been lingering for a few videos now. Yeah, I don't always read the chat. Sorry. So, okay, looks good. Okay, time to put my glove on. Okay, where's the paper towel thingy? Oh, here. Okay. Toxic chemical. The usual toxic chemical used by all repair technicians. So some buffing compound obviously sneaks in between the fret and the opening on the fret shield. It happens even if you put tape instead of the fret shield. So this is standard procedure. You gotta clean it and our toxic chemical also kind of like softens like whatever fret cheese we have there, which is how we call dead skin particles that are stuck between the frets. But it doesn't damage the finish. That's the beauty of it. And it doesn't damage any wood grain either. And I think that everyone watching this knows what the chemical is. And I don't say what it is because I don't know who's watching. What if a 6-year-old is watching and then they do something? They try to do something they see me do, and then something happens. Who's responsible then? Okay, this is good now. So this ebony does have a few hairline fractures. Yeah. So when you put any kind of cleaning fluid, it shows. So those fractures can be fixed, and I'll discuss that with the owner. We don't need to do it now. It's been like this for years. Because what will happen is when I oil the fingerboard, which I always do very lightly. Does this need to be cleaned? Nah. This is totally fine. When I oil the fingerboard, the oil, so I use coconut oil, which is this. So it's more like butter. So, but when it melts, when you put it on, it starts to melt. It'll go into those hairline fractures, and then it'll kind of sweat this oil. You'll see little puddles, whatever you want to call them, around, well, along these fractures. But the thing is that we need to oil it. It's too dry, which is why it fractured. So what's the idea with this oil? So first of all, I don't use liquid oil. I use coconut oil, which melts once you start rubbing it, or, you know, it depends on the temperature. Oil and water don't mix, and oil doesn't evaporate like water does. But it can get trapped in the same microscopic little air pockets, because wood is like a sponge, and you have these microscopic little air pockets inside of the wood grain. So now if you fill up those little air pockets, I mean only the surface ones, those close to the surface, with an oil like this, it will, because oil and water don't mix, right? It'll slow down the passing of moisture going through the surface of the grain. So let's say if this was a well humidified fingerboard, which probably now it is, because I had it in my vault for a few days. So now we seal it to kind of slow down the evaporation of the moisture that's trapped inside of the wood grain. Because when moisture kind of evaporates, the wood shrinks, and if it has nowhere to go as it's shrinking, it can fracture. So every part of the guitar that's exposed that you touch has some kind of finish on it. So it's either lacquer or, poly, or, whatever, or an oil finish or wax for the fingerboard. Now, the only part of a guitar that does not have a finish is the inside of a sound box on an acoustic guitar. So that's it for now. And now okay. All right. Still got some work to do. This isn't going to take too long now to finish. So the more slippery the frets are, the less friction, the less wear and tear. You're basically extending the life of the frets. Because they are obviously subject to wear and tear. Let me show you what the guitar looks like. I'm gonna remove this. I need to put the pick guard back. This is it. So this is an ebony tailpiece here. I wrapped it for obvious reasons. I'm going to clean the guitar a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to put this away. The Music Nomad Guitar Detailer. I'm not sure if I put a link to that. I think I forgot. So I guess I will add a link. So there's a little bit of a tan line here from the bridge, the floating bridge. Look at that. There's a, I think this is, what is this, Scotch tape or something? I think so. This looks like Scotch tape. I'm sure the owner of the guitar doesn't know that it's there. So now, should I remove it? Because it's been there for a minute. And now the question is, did the glue damage the finish? It did not. Okay, so I'm happy about that. And now let me see something. You know what? I'll just remove this. It'll just be easier to clean the guitar and buff it and all. We're just talking about 3 screws. Easy. Wrong size. Two screws. So I don't believe there's a grounding wire. Let me see. No, I see nothing. So yeah, technically 2 screws, but I do need to remove the strap button as well. So even if this is a large hole, yeah, the strap button doesn't fit through. Okay, so I didn't know if there was going to be a grounding wire connecting the strings to the guitar ground. There isn't one. Let me see something. Yeah, cool. All right. Okay, that's good. And I need to remove this tape here from the nut. It's a bone nut. I'm trying to clean it. It's got this little buildup of biofilm. Which you can see right here. of. You can see it. Yeah. So that's from the fingers. And we'll just soak it a little bit. Same toxic chemical. It does it all. See, it does the trick. Okay, that's much better. And what I do is I used this part. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna wax it. We're gonna wax it with carnauba wax and buff it. I really like the smell of carnauba wax. Some people like the smell of engine exhaust. I don't, but I like the smell of carnauba wax. It's all natural. So really, really thin layer. And now this is only used for buffing with carnauba wax. It's not used for anything else. We want to buff it, but the idea is not to remove the wax completely, obviously. So there was a strap button issue here. Not a strap button issue, an issue with the guitar strap. So I couldn't remove it in any other way, so I just unscrewed the strap button. And we see here, yeah, I think there's like duct tape or something on the strap button. So we see some residue here. And it comes right off. Glue residue from the duct tape. Some kind of black tape, I don't know what it is. It's all black now. I guess I should have cleaned the sides before waxing the top. Well, okay, same wax. I think Jimmy D'Aquisto only made one solid body guitar, and it was made for Steve Miller. This is a chambered solid body. So I don't know if this counts as solid body. And this one wasn't made by Jimmy himself, right? There. Where's the thing? Here. I don't always wax the entire guitar. I like to wax the neck. I just feel like this one should be waxed. All right. Now we can put the pick guard back. So technically this is all dry. Now should it be oiled? I guess it wouldn't hurt. I don't think anything would happen if I didn't oil it. This is also ebony. So that was Jimmy D'Aquisto's idea, philosophy, that an ebony tailpiece is going to give the guitar a better sound because it won't be that resonating metal thing that we would usually see on a guitar with a tailpiece like this. Okay, so now I'm going to put the pick guard back, and then after the pick guard, I'm going to put the tailpiece back. Okay, so the pots are not spinning. Yeah, you know, my hands are now waxy and oily. Okay. So these are two different screws. So I used the same fine tip Phillips head for both of them when I was removing, but now I can see at least why, at least one of the reasons why the second screw was giving me a little trouble. I didn't strip it, but I think I need to use the other Phillips head screwdriver, the one with a bigger tip. Yeah, I think this works better. Let me see. Or maybe not. Sorry. It's dark. Okay. I'm just trying to catch some light. Okay. Okay, so the pick guard is back. Now we can put the tailpiece back. Oh, I can just put this here. This is better. Okay. So I'm gonna put this one back yet. I'm gonna just put the strap back when I'm done. I believe we talked about putting 11 to 49 gauge strings. Yeah. So yes, he says 11 to 49. He's asking if he can bring another guitar on Monday. So we'll talk. We'll talk. I need to look at my storage space. It's I'm once again at full capacity. So, oh yeah, but I guess if this one goes away, another one can come in. Okay, the strings that will be used are these. The Dario XS 11 to 49 gauge strings. I don't need to file the nut on this one. No need to do that. I already checked, you know, the height. Okay, this goes there. So this, we're almost done. So it's not a fully compensated saddle. So the intonation is going to be somewhat, you know, it's going to be fine, but it's not going to be exact. So how do we want to do this? Okay, so I am going to put the two E strings on first. Let's put the screwdrivers back. We don't need them now. Okay, so here's the bridge. Here is the bridge. Okay, so this is the saddle. And it's just kind of cut at an angle. That's the style. And here there's a wedge like this. So this is used to adjust the height. And yeah, so it's adjustable. Now, just going to put the two E strings first, and I'll kind of approximately adjust the height. It won't be at full string tension with the, you know, neck at the proper relief, but it'll be close. These are excess coated strings, so with the wound strings, which have the coating, we gotta be careful not to damage the coating when we put them through a hole like this. Now this isn't metal, so it's not going to really damage the coating too much, or hopefully not at all. still want to be careful. So now I need to decide exactly how to wind the strings on these posts. I don't always do the same wind, okay? So here we have the bridge with the saddle. Gotta keep it simple on this one. So he says that he tapes down the bridge when he changes strings. That's a way to do it, you know, when you have a floating bridge. Another way is to mark it off with post-it notes, mark off the position around the bridge, and then, you know, just put it back in the same place. But the bridge was slightly in the wrong position when I first saw the guitar. I'll show you. So here, these strings are not at full tension just yet. They're, you know, just kind of loose. So we want to tighten the string a little more. So that, yeah. So they're about equally tight right now. And so we want to put the bridge approximately in the correct position first. So this is a 24.75 inch scale length. And here we have this tri-beam. That's a Music Nomad product. It's a pretty good product. And we put it here against the nut. And here we can measure. Well, I can use a light. Oh, come on. How does this work? Like this. I got too many gadgets. I damaged the guitar. Okay, no. So like I said, we place this tri-beam here, and it's right against the nut. And now we look at the 12th fret, which is right here, and we see that it's a 24.75-inch scale length. We see that, like that. Maybe it's a little bit shorter than that. So now we move this like this, and we need to compensate a little bit, so we want to move it in this direction a little bit. So now when we look at the high E saddle, it's got to be slightly further away, just a little bit further away than 24.75. Now I already kind of compensated by placing this against this edge of the fret. And here, obviously, on the low E is going to be even further away, right? But we're not worried about that. The bridge needs to be at a 90-degree angle. So when I first got the guitar, it was like this, okay? And that shouldn't be the case. So this bridge should be at a 90-degree angle, which it is now. And we're going to adjust it. Okay. So the strings are not very tight right now, so I can do some adjustments to get it in that position, right? To rotate it in that position, right? But I measured this. So now we see a little bit of a tan line showing, but it's a blurred edge, so it doesn't look bad at all. Now, I do want to make sure, so I no longer need this light. I do want to make sure that both strings are at the same distance away from the edge, or this one could be slightly further away from the edge. So I'm doing a micro adjustment there on this. It's fine. And now we want to tighten kind of both strings at once, because if you tighten one more than the other, the bridge can slide. And I'm going to check the intonation using the strobe tuner, this one. Okay. Strobo Clip HD, it's the Peterson. It says right there, Peterson. So, yeah, just this tuner. Like I said, the intonation is going to be approximate because we don't have individual adjustments. So we just try to find the best. So this one's in tune. Now, the string height affects this compensation. And now I just want to kind of see what the height, where the height is. I know that he likes low action. I saw this guitar when it came in, it had really low action, so that's what he wants. Okay, so it's too low right now, so I need to push that wedge in that direction. So I will use something that's not going to damage anything there. This is a piece of wood that's softer than this wood. And I'm going to push this wedge. Okay, so I'm moving the whole saddle and everything, but yeah. So I also moved that wedge in that direction. And I recall that it was kind of aligned with the saddle on this side. Okay. So yeah, so you're supposed to check the intonation in playing position, but this is an approximate intonation like I explained. So I see the strobo tuner there. I don't know if I can move the guitar so you can see it. Right, that's E, octave. It's catching the harmonic. It's showing A sharp. Come on. Now it's showing B. So sometimes tuners catch a harmonic. That doesn't mean that it's broken. So this is fine for the string height and this neck relief. It's okay if this string is slightly flat, okay? Which it is by, maybe 2 cents or something, so better flat than sharp on the bass side. So now I just want to put the other strings. So let me remove this tuner. Then we'll tune it. Then we'll adjust the neck relief. I already adjusted it with all strings, so maybe I don't need to readjust it. So Jimmy D'Aquisto was also an artist. He wasn't just a luthier. Just you can see how he designed his guitars. I'm sure it's not to everyone's taste, but yeah, that's what he was. So yeah, you can check out this guy's band, the Jazz Bastards. There's a website. You will see this guitar on the pictures. There's a YouTube channel by the same name. There's another YouTube channel with the name Jazz Bastards. This one is the Jazz Bastards. So, and like I said, you will see this guitar in the videos. Where's the thingy? Oh, here. Okay. So we tune the guitar. We'll do a few extra adjustments. And that's it. I do need to raise the pickup because I did lower the pickup for the, fret polishing and stuff. Is this the right screwdriver? I don't think it is. Yeah, needs this fine tip screwdriver. I think he said that this is not the original pickup. I'll put this here just in case. I'm looking at the shadow and then the distance between the string and the shadow, just to kind of eyeball it for now. Yeah. Let's make sure that thing is seated well. So this bridge, to be perfectly honest, I feel it needs a little work because it's not like seated well. And I did notice that. It's not well carved. So that's a lot of work. And that's something that I think should be done at some point. It isn't flipped because you see that, these, so it's, in this direction. But, this is quite a big gap here. I can even put a pick there. So, yeah. So, but this is a big job and it requires a jig. Now I have a jig for a more conventional arched up bridge that has the two posts. This, we would need to make a specialized jig for this. So that would turn into a big job. Okay. Let's measure the action now. So I think that's the action he wants, really low, but I'm going to check the neck relief, obviously, first. Well, I'm going to check that it's actually in tune. Where's the tuner? Slightly flat. Okay, neck relief. We need to release the truss rod a bit. Okay. So now I'll just check the action. I think it's good. And I'm going to check the intonation. So I mean, this is lower action than I want, but he did bring it in with really low action. He did tell me that that's what he wants. That's what he's been playing with for all these years. So where we expect to see the discrepancy is here between the D and G and B. I'm seeing a little bit of a discrepancy, nothing to really worry about. We are done. Almost done. So I need to put this truss rod cover back. And this is the screw that is going to hold the strap button, which is kind of permanently attached to the strap. So I do recommend to buy a new strap. But I guess that's not really up to me. So I think Jimmy, he was Italian. I think he designed this to, it's a stylized Italian peninsula, in my opinion. So I think that's that. Like I said, he was an artist as well. He put his art on his guitar designs. So we have that strap. Yeah, so what is this? Duct tape? Something like that, right? So this left some residue on the body of the guitar. I can't remove this strap button. So I'm just going to put it back like this. I'm also going to double check the electronics and the pickup height. Okay. Let's see. It's late. 2 hours and 45 minutes. Okay. Like I said, electronics and pickup height. I'm not sure how much you'll hear through this mic. I think I already opened it. Oh, it's a bit scratchy. All right. This is the usual D'Aquisto deal. Small tip, fine tip screwdriver, this one. So the tone pot's a bit scratchy, that's all. Not even the volume pot. Oh yeah, I did open it once. Yeah, I remember looking at it. So This is a bit wobbly, but I can't fix it. It's missing something here. I would have to resolder this. This isn't the best. So this isn't done by the Japanese maker, because it's not the original pickup. So somebody rewired this. I think this is not the original capacitor. I'm not sure if it's the original output jack. It's still scratchy. Not this one. It's only scratchy when it plays the sound. Interesting. But not now. I never seen that on guitars before. Maybe I'll recommend to change the pot. I mean, I can spray it one more time, but I don't think it's going to do anything. I can't flood it. Maybe here. Interesting. Well, I don't know. Still scratchy, but only when I play. Not if I turn it slowly, but if I turn it fast, a little bit. But only when it plays. Well, okay, well, maybe we should change the pot. I think I did everything. I don't think I can do anything else. That's it, and we are done. The pickup height is okay. I already tightened the tuning machines before I started streaming. They were loose. And that is it. This is the guitar. D'Aquisto. Focus, focus, please. Yeah, like that. All right. Okay, friends. this is it for today. I already worked on a bunch of guitars. Oh, but I didn't finish this one. So I'm going to finish this one guitar. It's a classical guitar, nylon string guitar. Okay, so thank you again for watching. And yeah, okay, there are a few comments. 5 people watching. Dr. Sean Barnes just joined, just commented. Great string, good night, all. Yeah. Thank you. And I am going to end it now. It's 2 hours, 53 minutes and 2 seconds long. Okay. Thank you for watching and good night.